Hey guys, I am Pixel Dan, and today I'm going to be taking a look at the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1988 Original Series gift pack that is found at Gamestop locations. Now, here's the thing. This has been out for a while. I know that. I know that this has been around for several months, and so many people have reached out to me asking if I've seen this or if I'm planning to talk about it. So I apologize that this video is late, but I've had this for a while, and I just still want to talk about this. So I think mainly this video is going to focus on comparing these new releases to the actual vintage 1988 released Ninja Turtles action figures, just so you can see what you're getting with these new figures versus the original figures. So first of all, they do come in a very nice looking window box. I mean, it's a very appealing package. And I know this because so many people reached out to me over Twitter and Facebook, so excited about the fact that they found this. The reality is that Playmates has re-released these figures multiple times just within the last decade or so, even longer than that. They started re-releasing these vintage figures as early as 2010, and then after the 2012 series came out, they did it at least 2 times during that run. So this is not uncommon for Playmates to re-release these original figures. Putting them in a box set like this is kind of new, however. So it's going to be really interesting to see what we've got going on. The artwork on the sides is really cool. It's actually based on the original animated series, not the original toys, but still very cool and perfect for this retro throwback. You've also got this neat little About the Turtle section, just kind of telling you about, like, you know, when they hit the age of popularity in the late 80s, early 90s. So really fun stuff. So nice packaging. Let's open this up and let's really take a good look at the action figures within. All right, so we have got our brand new 1988 style Ninja Turtles outside of the box so we can get a good look at them. Now, if you guys are unfamiliar with the vintage lineup, let me bring in the tape measure here to show you that they stand about 4 inches tall, a little bit taller. The original line is often referred to as a 5-inch line. The Turtles are a little squat. They've got kind of like the pre-posed legs going on there, so they are a little bit shorter than some of the other figures in the lineup, but the Turtles are always a little bit shorter anyway. So one thing I really noticed with these guys is right out of the package, they feel a lot different than the vintage figures. They're a bit softer in the plastic. Their arms are particularly rubbery feeling, so we're going to get into that a bit more, and the color's a little off as well. I want to kind of focus on comparing each of these to their vintage counterparts. But the one thing I do want to point out right off the bat is that it is going to be very different from buying the originals as far as the accessories go. Now, each of them do come with their signature weapons. You get 1 bow for Donatello, 2 nunchucks for Mikey, 2 sais for Raph, and 2 katanas for Leo. What you're missing is this. Every figure, every Ninja Turtle in the vintage line came with this weapon tree that had all of these little additional weapons. You got the ninja stars and the practice tools, all that good stuff. So you don't get that with these new versions that come in the box set. So I just felt like that was something worth mentioning. No weapons rack with the extra weapons. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with Michelangelo, our party dude. So let me get him up here, and then I am going to bring over my vintage Michelangelo action figure. Now, it's worth noting that this vintage one is the hard head version. All of the figures in this box set are hard heads. If you don't know, the original 1988 releases started with soft head turtles where their heads were squishy, and then they eventually changed to hard heads. So 2 of the figures I have in my vintage pile over here are soft heads, 2 are hard heads. Mikey is one of the hard heads. So looking at them side by side, you can already see that there's some color difference between the 2. The colors on the vintage figure over here are a little more rich. We got a brighter green, brighter yellow on the front of the shell there. They're a lot more muted on this new figure. Also, the weapons are a different color. That's probably a good thing for anybody out there that's worried about these new weapons getting mixed in with weapons lots for your vintage figures. They are a much lighter color than the vintage weapons, as you can see the nunchucks in his hand there. Another weird thing that I noticed right off the bat is with the shell. The vintage shells are very glossy in the paint. The new ones have this matte finish. There is no gloss to them at all. And that really kind of goes because of the softer plastic I was talking about. I think that's what attributes to it. So look at the arms here. They are like very gummy feeling. It is noticeable how soft and how flexible the arms are. And the overall figure is so lightweight. Like, it just feels much lighter than the vintage figures, which feel more dense. They definitely have more weight to them. The overall sculpt does appear to be the same, but I did also notice that on the back, the copyright says 2013 Viacom, which means they're using the same molds from the re-releases that came out during the 2012 era toy line. So 2013 Viacom, so that's another way you can tell these apart if you're ever hunting out loose figures in the wild. So really interesting. Otherwise, they've got the same stances. They do still articulate the same, but it's interesting to look at these guys side by side. Okay, so we're gonna bring it over to my favorite turtle, my boy Raphael, and oh my goodness, this one stands out so much as being completely different. In fact, this is one that I noticed in the box. And maybe you don't notice it while you're just, casual out there shopping, you don't see it. But if you've been collecting these figures for years, the color of Raphael's skin is a major standout. He's got this weird pale green, almost like this bluish green color to his skin on the new one that is so different from the tone on the vintage figure. I mean, look at that. It really, really stands out. You'll notice that the R on the belt is also a lighter color yellow. The weapons are that same lighter color as well. They're still very similar sculpts, obviously. We got the same thing going on with the shell where it's got that matte finish. Of course, it's got the 2013 date stamp. So yeah, it's really that skin tone that stands out with Raphael there. Let's bring it over to Donatello, who has always had like the worst stance. Oh, hey, whoa, I'm shocked that I got them standing right now. He's got those like really high arched toes there on that back foot. But you can see our two Donnies standing side by side. Again, quite a bit of a difference in the colors. Interestingly, the new one is darker than the old one. This is also one of my soft heads, by the way. My vintage one is a soft head, so you can kind of see the difference there between the heads. The skin tone is a lot darker on the new one. It does have that matte finish on the shell, as opposed to the more glossy finish. The bow staff is lighter. In fact, let me go and get this weapon out of his hand. I should be kind of feeling these too. So that actually feels nice and sturdy. And let's see if we can... Wow, the grip is much tighter on my vintage figure. There we go. There you go. You can kind of look at the two weapons side by side. This is your vintage bow staff versus your modern bow staff. They actually feel very similar in quality of plastic. It's just the colors that are very different. But again, the figures feel different. The weight is much lighter on the new one there. Just, you can tell that it's a different type of plastic. And I know that plastics have changed over years. Modern figures are a lot different nowadays. So that definitely attributes to the difference in the weight of the plastic. So finally, that's going to bring us to the leader of the team, Leonardo. One thing that's nice, the katanas are nice and straight on my new one. My old ones are very warped. But looking at these guys side by side, you can see similar differences. It doesn't stand out quite as much with Leo, but the front of his shell is definitely a different color. The L is a lighter yellow on the belt there. We've got a bit of a paint scuff on my Leo, unfortunately, which you can kind of see right there underneath the belt straps, which is a bit unfortunate. But it's literally the same kind of stuff I've seen on the other figures. We've got the matte finish on the shell. He's much lighter weight. So it really is the same kind of thing across the board. So there you go, guys. That's my comparison time video of the new retro style Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles action figures. So here's the deal with these. They definitely feel different. They definitely look different. I think the colors are not as good on these, specifically Raphael. Raphael looks really, really off to me, but is everybody going to notice that? Is that going to be that way to everybody? No, I don't think so. If you're somebody who's been collecting these figures for a long time, those are going to stand out to you. You're going to notice that stuff. But if you're a casual collector, if you're just somebody who remembers having turtles as a kid, or you want something neat to display, or hey, if you just want to display them in that cool box they came in, I think these will work out just fine. It's really going to depend on you personally as a collector if you feel like these are worth picking up. I hope my video helped to point some of those differences out for you guys. That's really all I was trying to do here. And hey, GameStop's doing a lot of big sales right now, so if this is in store, you might even be able to get it for a really, really good deal at this point. So, worth picking up? Totally up to you guys to decide. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Happy hunting, my friends. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy this video, hit that like button. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me what you think. And don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, my friends.